Sir, can we start the session? SK Singh sir, can we start the session? Hello sir, am I
Hello.
audible? Yes
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Okay sir, okay. Participant, good afternoon again for the session 3, day 4. Before the start of the session, I am privileged to introduce Dr. SK Singh sir. Dr. SK Singh sir is presently working as Professor of Civil Engineering Department and Dean, Sponsored Research and Industrial Consultancy at Punjab Engineering College, also known as PEAK Chandigarh. He has a long and illustrious service career of serving at PEAK Chandigarh in various capacities from several years. He has more than 26 years of teaching and research experience. He has published more than 100 research and technical papers in various journals and conferences. He has guided more than 50 postgraduate students for completing his thesis under master's degree. He has also guided 6 doctoral students for completing their PhD thesis. He was an active member of various international and national organizations and societies such as Indian Geotechnical Society, Institution of Engineers, and Indian Road Congress. He has been also awarded for Best Paper Award in Indian Geotechnical Journals for the year 2020 by IGS. He has been actively engaged in providing technical consultancy to several government and private organizations in the field of geotechnical and soil mechanics. So now I request to Dr. SK Singh sir to start his session.
Thank you, Professor Kundan, to give the introductory remark. So, I think 40 participants had joined. So now I share my screen.
Yes sir, start. Some participants are under the process for the joining sir. They can join within 5 minutes.
Okay. Is it visible to you? Is the
Yes
screen?
sir. Yes sir, visible sir.
Okay. So I am audible and visible.
Yes sir, both.
Okay. So we have to start a very interesting topic, that is the recent advances in pile construction practices. So for this, during this presentation, I will deliver regarding the requirement of the pile foundation, and mainly we will focus on the construction aspect of the different pile foundation. There are, as you know, there are the different pile foundation, that is the precast driven pile, cast in situ board pile, under-rimmed pile foundation, cast in situ driven pile, cast in situ pressure pile, and there are the two more type of the pile, that is the large dia pile and the micro pile. That are the recent advances. That mostly nowadays we are using the large dia pipe. When we call the pile diameter as large, can any participant can tell me when we call it large dia pile? Can any participant respond? No. So generally the conventional pile diameter ranges from the 30 centimeter or the 300 mm to 750 mm. So when the pile dia is greater than the 750 mm, so that it comes under the large dia pile, and when it is less than 300 mm, it comes under the micro pile. So we will focus on all these two, mainly these two type of the pile. In addition to the conventional pile, first we go through the conventional pile, then we will focus on the large diameter pile and the micro pile, which are nowadays being extensively used in the practices. So that is the recent advances in the construction technology of the pile, that either we are using too large diameter pile, or the too small. That we call it the micro pile. So now why that is the requirement? Because if we talk about the construction of the building, the height of the building is going on increase. The height is increasing day by day, and now you can see with this sketch that we had reached up to the height of the 2,723 feet. That is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. So as the structure becomes taller and taller, the load on the foundation increases. The more load on the foundation increases, so that's why the load capacity of the foundation member should be very high. On that account, the large dia pile are supposed to carry the larger load, and that becomes the requirement. Now the conventional pile cannot take that load under this type of the structure. There were at one point of time, all these buildings were the highest building, but gradually we are increasing and reached up to the Burj Khalifa, Dubai. So you can see here that is the dimension of the foundation. That is the depth of the foundation is 164 feet below the ground for the Burj Khalifa, and the type of the foundation provided is the piled raft. Means a raft foundation is supported on the pile. If there will be any doubt, you can interrupt me in between, and I can respond to you. So please don't hesitate to ask any question or to express any query. Is it all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Okay, fine. So there should be interactive session. You may interact. I will respond when I ask you that you should respond. So both ways, then it will be interesting. And please don't hesitate to make any query or express your any concern regarding this lecture. So that's why we require the foundation which take the larger and larger load. That is the large diameter pile are required. These are the some of the description of all these skyscrapers. In the Burj Khalifa, which is 160 story, there are the 192 number of the foundation pile are used, and each of the pile is of the dimension or diameter is 5 foot. 5 foot is around the 1.5 meter dia, and this 12-foot concrete mat, that is the raft foundation. So raft foundation supported on the pile foundation. That's why it is pile raft. So that is the description of all these skyscrapers. All are supported on the pile foundation. Now, what is the sequential construction of the pile foundation? If we have to design the pile foundation, then how do we proceed? First thing is that given the superstructure, we have to calculate the load that is coming from the superstructure. Then accordingly, you have to design the load capacity. You have to assume the you have to fix the dia and the depth of the pile. Depth of the pile can be fixed from the site investigation report, and this dia of the pile is to be fixed. Then you have to find out the load capacity of the single pile. That you can use the static formula. Then based on that, since you know the total load coming from the superstructure, so you could find out the number of pile in a group. And then you could find out the load capacity of the pile group considering the interference among the pile. That is the theoretical calculation. Since you had done the theoretical calculation, so but we don't rely on our theoretical calculation, so we do the pile load test before actual installation of the pile or actual construction of the pile in the field. So there are the two types of the test. One is called the initial test, and that is conducted on the test pile. The minimum 2 number of the initial pile load test should be carried out, and if that satisfies the result of the theoretical load capacity, or there is a good agreement between the theoretical load capacity and the pile load test result, then you can go for the actual installation of the pile, actual construction of the pile. And in between, when you had started the construction of the pile, then you have to do the routine test on the working pile. And this working pile, routine test on the working pile may be, it varies from 0.5 to 2% of the total number of the pile that is to be required to be installed at that site. So now then construction is to be started, and construction is very, very important, because if everything is all right, your design is all right, your test had qualified your theoretical result, then if you maintain the proper quality control during the construction, then it will take the required or the design load. But if there are the number of the variables in the pile construction, and if you could not follow the good practices in the construction of the pile, then the load capacity may get reduced, and this pile could not provide that much support for which it was supposed to design. So that's why these are the very, very important construction aspect of the pile are very, very important, and that's why in between we check this load test on the working pile as a routine test, and these working pile will be the integral part of your pile system. So again, there are the different type of the pile method based on the method of the construction. These are the different type of the pile. General pile, that is the precast driven pile, the cast in situ pile, it may be the board pile, or cast in situ driven pile, it may be cast pile or the uncased pile. There is the pressure pile, and among this large dia pile, whatever this we have discussed, it is the greater than 750 mm, and micro pile dia micro pile is the pile having dia less than 300 mm. Is it all right?
Yes, sir. All
Okay. So these we will discuss that I had already, these are different piles. Now where these micro pile can be used? Micro pile are the very thin pile, and these has the very, these differs from the conventional pile. The differs from the conventional pile in the, and where it can get used. Suppose there is not a, in the particularly when a normal pile or the large dia pile, if you have to install the pile at a mountainous terrain, where the pile installation machinery cannot be accessible. In that case, the very heavy type of the machinery cannot arrive at this very rugged terrain. In that case, we use the short dia pile, and that requires the very handy type of the installation equipment. Similarly, there is not any the sufficient headroom for the installation, like the retrofitting of the structure. So in that case also the micro pile can be used because they are easy to install. But the load capacity of the micro pile is comparable to the conventional pile. Though they are very thin, the dia may vary from this dia may vary from the 75 mm to 300 mm for the micro pile. But the difference in the micro pile, they had their application had been used in the slope stabilization and earth retention. Particularly on the slope, you can't make the heavy rig machine to install the pile, either to drive through the driven pile or the board pile. That cannot be, conventional pile cannot be installed. So on the slope, it is it has find very extensive application that micro pile being handy, it can be installed. And there are the number of, you might have seen the, you might have heard the, there are the number of the avalanches that has been frequently occurring in the high altitude region. So for then we construct the avalanche control structure. So this avalanche control structure, either in form of the snow net or the snow gallery, to anchor this structure we use the micro pile. So that is the, again for the ground strengthening and protection, it anchors the structure. It will also reduce the settlement and increases the structural stability. So there are the number of the applications, and particularly in the difficult terrain and difficult situation, this micro pile can be as an obvious choice to be installed. When you have to make the seismic retrofitting of the existing foundation, because you have to strengthen your foundation in very congested place, the headroom is not sufficient. In that case, the micro pile can be used, and micro pile can be the only solution. Similarly, for the earth retention structure, it can be used. In the case of the micro pile, if we compare the micro pile with the conventional pile, in the conventional pile we pour the concrete under gravity from the Tremy pipe. But in the case of the micro pile, this grouting is done, and the reinforcement, the degree of the reinforcement is very high. So even the small dia pile is the load capacity of these small dia pile is comparable with the conventional pile. On the contrary of the micro pile, the large dia pile are also used. Since just we had seen that it has found use under the skyscraper, because the load on the foundation is increasing due to the exponential increase in the height of the building. So that's why we use the large dia pile to sustain that load. Now you might have seen the construction of the flyover, road over bridges. Under that, to take the load under the pier, these large dia pile are installed, or it may be in the group of the pipe. If we talk about the river bridges, which is where the foundation is to be provided on the erodible bed, earlier the invariable choice was well foundation. But the construction and the sinking of the well was very tedious, because if you start the sinking, you know the well foundation is installed through sinking under the self well. So that sinking process is very tedious, and particularly to sink that well foundation under the plumb is a very difficult task. Generally, there will be the tilt and shift in the well foundation, and that is to be rectified under the sinking operation. So now we had got very easy solution that this pile foundation can be a group of the large dia pile can be put under the pier of the bridge, and that can almost replace the well foundation. So now well foundation has become obsolete, and this large dia pile has completely replaced the well foundation. And there is the very speedy construction now with the advent of the very high machinery. We can easily drill the larger dia and to any depth, in any soil. So that's why this has completely replaced. Similarly, in the jetty structure where there is the water, that large dia pile can be easily used. This is the photograph of a Mumbai Coastal Road project. This is the Mumbai Coastal Road project where monopile, single pile of the dia 2.5 to 3.5 meter had been used under this project. So that is the importance of the large dia pile. So on one hand we are using the mini pile, another one we are using the large pile. So just we are going through the construction process of the different type of the pile foundation. So first is the pre-cast pile, that is casted in the or fabricated in some factory shop, and then it is brought to the site, and then it is driven under the impact of the hammer. Now here these are the sequence of the operation. That is, it is the prefabricated pile. It is lifted to unload. It is lifted. Then it is lifting position for the vertical, and then it will make vertical, and the hammer is through hammer it gets the impact. Here the lifting. Here one point is that here lifting of the precast pile is such that from 2 point. Oh, Rajendra. Sound come through. Sorry. So here we have to lift the pile. We have to lift the pile from these 2 points such that the handling stresses should be minimum. That is when we have to lift, the bending moment should be, absolute bending moment should be minimum. And what could be the length of the overhang? Can anyone tell me? What should be this length of the overhang so that the this overhang should be, and what should be the length of this overhang so that the absolute bending moment should be minimum? Anyone from the participant can respond either yes or no. Then I will.
No idea, sir.
No idea. Because you can. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, light had gone. Huh.
Is it
I'm not able to hear your voice.
0.2
Hello.
L?
0 point.
2 L.
Point two, 0.207 L. So that is the overhang. That's why this in the precasted pile there are the groove, there are hook fixed at this position. The hook are fixed at this position so that the laborers are forced to lift the pile from this position only, so that there should be the minimum handling stress. And then it is just now for this hammer, there are the different type of the hammer you might be knowing. One is called the drop hammer. Another one is called this is called the pneumatic hammer, and there is hammer is lifted under pressure and it is fold, it is in the downward journey, there is the pressure also. So that is called the double acting pressure. And when the pressure is applied during the one stroke, during the lifting of the hammer, then it is called the single stroke hammer. The vibratory roll, this vibratory hammer, nowadays this type vibratory hammer are used, for which the free fall is smaller than these two hammer, and here there are the eccentric weight rotating in the counter direction, and they are making the pulsating effect, and that creates the vibration, and that's why this will impact the pile head. So these are the nowadays only the vibratory hammer are mostly used, and in this case of the drop hammer, the impact on the adjacent area is very high. And in the case of this, so that's why when the pile driving is done, pile driving affects the adjacent area, also it makes very heavy noise. So particularly it should not be installed in the habitated area or in the built up area where there are the number of the adjacent structure, because it can jeopardize the safety of the adjacent structure. But this, if you are driving the pile under the vibratory roller, it will give the minimum disturbance among all these choices, all these type of the hammer. In the case of the hammer itself, if you see, this is the pile that is to be driven. This is the pile that is to be driven. So since the hammer is impacting on the head of the pile, there is the arrangement of we call it dolly and packing, and that is to protect the head of the pile. Now you see, this is the pile head, and in between this is the helmet. This is the helmet, just like we put the helmet to protect our head while riding the motorcycle. So similarly, this pile head is protected with this helmet, and there are a plywood is inserted in between. Above this helmet, there will be a strike plate on which the hammer will directly impact on the strike plate, and a strike plate, between the strike plate and helmet there will be some resistant material, that is there will be some cushion. The resistant material may be of the rubber cork, sawdust, so these which can absorb the impact, so that pile head can be protected. So that's why you may see, you may be aware that what are the theoretical approach by which we, under the dynamic formula, by which we find out the safe capacity of the pile and driven pile? Do you know? Can you tell me? Any one of you? No. Under dynamic, when you are using the dynamic formula to estimate the load capacity of the pile, there are two formula theoretical approach. One is the engineering Newes formula, another one is the Healy formula. I had not incorporated because we are doing the construction only. So, but what I want to explain you that in this formula had been used based on the total energy of the hammer is being utilized. What is the total energy of the hammer? Total energy of the hammer is the weight of the hammer multiplied by the height through which it falls. That is the total energy, and that energy is being consumed in driving the pile. But you see here the arrangement. There are the how many losses that is occurring here. That's why the dynamic formula is not very reliable formula. If you see, the factor of safety as high as the 6 are being used in that formula. Because of this, because we in that formula, this WH has been used, that energy is fully used in driving the pile. But that is not the case. There are so many observing material here to protect the pile. Also, there is another dissipation of the energy of the pile in terms of the sound energy, in terms of the light energy. So there are the lot of dissipation, and very small fraction of the hammer energy is being utilized in driving the pile. Is it clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So that's why this formula is useless. If you are using the factor of safety as high as 6, so that has no meaning. And that's why the limitation, that's why I am explaining to you that this energy is dissipated, and the energy of the hammer is being dissipated in many ways. In the precast pile, generally it is difficult to alter the length of the pile, but in the steel pile we can make it, this can be socket, and this is the joint, and this can be welded, and in the concrete pile it is not possible. Just I want to show a pile driving. It is just with the impact of the hammer, it is being driven into the ground. Just you saw this animation video. This is the mast. This is the mast with support of which this pile has been erected vertical and being impacted with the hammer, and it is driven into the ground. So this driven pile can be used in many ways. So advantage of the driven pile is it can be used in most ground condition, and this could be the cost effective. Extensive range of the pile size, but the length of the pile will be limited because this is to be transported from the fabrication site to the actual site where the pile is to be used. So on account of the transportation, the length is limited. This is cost effective. There is the better quality control that it is in the construction of pile as it is made in the factory, and there is the fast installation because this is the hardened concrete. When we make the bore pile, that requires the time for setting. even then you are able to construct the superstructure over it. The disadvantage is the limited length. This is the very limited length and generally not more than 20 meter because it has to carry it. There will be noise nuisance due to impact of the hammer on pile head, disturbance to the adjacent structure, all thing I had already explained, difficult to alter the length. In case of the board pile that we make, first we make the drill the bore hole, then we put the reinforcement case and installed by displacing the soil. But cast in situ board pile are called the replacement pile. The soil, first soil is being replaced and then in which the concrete is poured. So for making the bore hole in which the concrete is to be poured, there are the different type of the drilling rig. This is the helical rig, agar, this is the bucket, this is the baler. This is mostly used in the clay soil and this is mostly used in the gravelly soil. There is a flap and that can be opened while you are lifting this flap. When it gets filled with the cutting material, then it comes into the closing position. So the material will be retained in this baler. It will not fall down. And when you will drop it, again it will be opened and all the cutting material will go inside this. And this is the grab, like the clamp style. This is the trench cutter, mostly used in the construction of the diaphragm wall. So going ahead, now these are the drilling rig. This is called the Kelly bar. This is called the Kelly bar to which this agar is attached. In this, these are mounted on the crane, just you had seen in the animation, and this is through the diagram, pictorial diagram. And in this is the difference between the A and B is that this Kelly bar is supported with a mast. This is a vertical mast. So that will facilitate it to sink it in the vertical direction only. So Kelly bar that will make the borehole in the vertical direction only. So your borehole will be almost vertical. If more quality control is needed, then you can use the telescopic Kelly bar. So you can monitor the verticality or the plumb line of the borehole, because your borehole should be truly vertical. There should not be any eccentricity. Otherwise, there will be eccentric loading on the pile. And that is one of the reasons that pile are seldom used in single. But now with the advent of the construction technology, because we are able to monitor the pile to greater accuracy while making the borehole, we can monitor with the telescopic Kelly bar and we are able to make the borehole truly vertical. So now we are able to use the single pile only. Otherwise, earlier the group of the pile were used so that their center should coincide with the center of the applied load. But in the case of the single pile, that is not the choice. And or if you are using the single large dia pile, so the borehole should be truly vertical. Truly vertical, there should not be eccentricity, and that can be managed with the telescopic Kelly bar. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
बोर तो नहीं हो रहे हो?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir. No.
Oh, okay, good, fine. Then I am also interested. Now, so now when we drill the hole, then that hole is drilled with the other. So sometimes what happen that if the soil is clayey type, cohesive soil, then that does not require any support of the site, and it will remain intact. So you can go on aggering till the required depth. But in some soil, and particularly when you reach the water table, you have to make the borehole below the water table, or the soil is cohesionless. In that case, your bore will not remain intact. It will get collapsed. So either it will require the support, some external support in form of some hollow casing, or some other mean like the bentonite slurry. So here you see here only without any external support, this unsupported hole is done, and you can see here zigzag. But here, since this soil is liable to collapse, so we had put a casing support. We had given casing support, and then the aggering is done, and then we can reach up to the desired depth. And here in this case, first a hollow casing has been driven to the desired depth, and the soil is being removed with the drag. So these are the different method of the drilling. And how do we concrete when we reach the borehole to the desired depth? Again, this is how it is attached with the Kelly bar. This is the mast, this is the Kelly bar. This is the Kelly bar to which this auger has been attached for drilling the hole. Now there are the different types construction of the pile. There are, first you have to install the casing. This casing can be installed up to very short length, so that just it can guide your auger initial length. In the initial length, it may be the 1 meter. Here, sorry, this. So that for short length, this casing has been installed here. Then you start the drilling, and that is up to the required depth. When you had reached up to the required depth, then this reinforcement is to be placed in the position. This reinforcement case is prepared on the site as per design, and then it is being lowered into the borehole. And then here when you had placed the reinforcement, then concreting is being poured with the trimmy pipe. That we will see the detail. So that is the concrete is being, and now this borehole has filled with you had put the reinforcement, concreting is done. So now your pile is ready. Your board pile is ready. But it will take time to set the concrete. Unlike the driven pile can be used just after the installation, but this will require to set the concrete. Then you can make the next construction over this foundation. So regarding the trimming, stabilizing the borehole, this is the percussion drilling. And this percussion drilling means this is goes up and down. This drill pipe goes up and down, and here the bentonite slurry is circulated, because if you are not using the external pipe to support the borehole, so the cheapest way is to use the bentonite slurry in the borehole. That make the borehole stabilized, and the requirement of the casing pipe may be dispensed with. So here that is the circulation of the circulation of the bentonite slurry. Here you see there is a pond here in which the bentonite slurry is kept, and then this is circulated to this drill rod, and through nozzle it is coming out. This drill through this here bentonite slurry is coming out, and it is also getting up and down, and that's why all it will cut the material, and all the cutting material will go again, and that will come into this bentonite pond, bentonite slurry pond. So this is again circulated. So that is the that will save the water also, and it will keep the bentonite in circulation, and till that we can reach the desired depth. Here again there is the schematic representation of all the processes using the Termi pipe. So when in this is the bentonite slurry full has been shown, but this will be not filled up like this. Here is the water table here, but on the side there will be the bentonite slurry. When you had made the borehole, it will be not filled like this. So just there is some error in this figure. So when we had reached up to the desired depth, so then this is the funnel on which the transit mixer will come and pour the concrete. It is first when the concrete is being poured from the transit mixture, here that is the bottom is closed. Here it can be with a valve, it is closed here, and you lower the Termi pipe. You lower the Termi pipe to the bottom of the borehole, just 50 centimeter to 75 centimeter above. And when you had placed the Termi pipe, then you allow to fall this concrete into the Termi pipe. It will fall up to the side, and when it reaches this, then this pipe will be lifted. So the pipe will be lifted and the concreting will be done simultaneously. In this process, this bentonite slurry that will come upward. This will come upward as the concreting get deposited. This bentonite slurry will come upward, and only the concrete layer you have to lift the Termi pipe, and concrete gets deposited and the bentonite slurry comes out. So that is the process, and that has been depicted under this different stages. Here in the case of the under-rimmed pile, which is mostly used for the expensive soil, there is need for the construction of the, when you had constructed the shaft of uniform dia, in the under-rimmed pile, there are the bulb of the larger dia. It may be the 1 or the 2. So that can be, after constructing the pile of uniform diameter up to the desired depth, we have to construct the under-rimmed bulb, and that can be done with this under-rimming tool. This under-rimming tool, you see, in the normal position, the shape is like this. When you press this, it will be like this. Through this joint, it will expand, and the dia will be larger. So that is the upright position, that is the expanded position. So what we do that first we lower this in the upright position, and when it reaches up to the level where the enlarged bulb is to be formed, then we press it and we make it the dia larger, and we rotate it so that the soil surrounding that at that level will be cut, and that will fall. There is a bucket attached to it. So this soil cutting, all the cutting soil will fall in this bucket. So when this bucket gets filled up, then you lift up from the borehole and you empty it again. You drop in the borehole till you make the bulb of the desired diameter. So this is the process again schematically shown here. That was the hole drill uniform shaft. You had lowered this under reamer in the upright position. At this level, we need the under rimmed bulb, so it is being rotated here and being pressed simultaneously. Here it is being pressed so that it opens, the dia becomes larger, and at same time it is being rotated, so it will cut the surrounding soil, and that will, all these will go into the bucket, and finally you will get this shape. So that's why the under rim pile foundation is constructed. Here, this is the final shape of the under rimmed pile foundation. So here, in this you can see there is the one under reamer. It is the two under reamer. The depth of the pile, generally the depth of this under rimmed pile is 3 meter to 3.5 meter, and it can be one bulb or it can be two bulb. The dia of this is the enlarged bulb. This is the enlarged bulb. This dia of this enlarged, and this is the stem. So this dia of the enlarged bulb can be 2.5 times of this dia. This is the dia D of a stem, and du is the dia of the enlarged bulb. Du may be 2.5 times to 3 times of the D. There will be air gap, so that there should be a provision to expand this soil. So that is how it is constructed. Mainly we are dealing with the construction part, so we will not go into much more detail because we have to cover large type of the pipe. Now, what is the driven cast in situ pipe? Have you heard the driven cast in situ pipe? What is it? Can anyone tell me the driven cast in situ pipe? One we had discussed, that is the precast driven pipe. Now it is the driven cast in situ pipe. Please respond. Am I audible to you?
Casted in the site itself, sir. Casted in the site itself for driving the pile inside. That is, the reinforcement was casted inside the site area itself.
Okay. So this So sorry, I had got disconnected, and in this system you will not get noticed that you are disconnected. So, huh?
Okay, sir.
That,
No issue, sir.
that's why I used to check in between that you respond. Otherwise, sometimes I feel that maybe I got disconnected. One way I am talking. So anything, any query up to this? Then we will proceed further.
No, sir.
No,
PPT not visible, sir.
आप नहीं अभी तो हमने लगाया नहीं है.
Okay, sir.
अभी तो हमने लगाया नहीं है. तो that's why just I wanted your feedback. So now I come.
All okay, sir. The pictorial view is very good, so it is very easy to understand.
Okay, so visible to you? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
हाँ, screen is
सर,
visible.
यू आर ऑडिबल सर.
हाँ?
You are audible,
आपकी
but
आवाज आ
screen.
रही है सर.
Now screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir. Now visible, sir.
So I don't know at which point I got disconnected. So you had seen this?
Yes, sir. At this point,
Okay. Okay. So we were talking regarding the driven cast in situ file. So that is how just I had explained this. So these are the common uses. There are the various, these are the some advantages that is listed. It is in between the driven and the board file. So now, so then that is the, now you see here there are the, just I had explained to you that driven cast in situ file may be of two type. One is the uncased file and another one is the cased file. So here what we do, you see this is the casing. This is the casing, hollow casing, and this is a hollow casing, and at the bottom of this casing a detachable shoe is attached, and this casing is driven into the ground. So when this casing had reached to the desired depth, the reinforcement cage is provided in it. And then you pour the concrete through trimmy pipe, and casing is gradually pulled up. So, and this shoe will remain in its position. This is a detachable shoe, so you can pull your casing and as the concreting is being done, this casing is pulled out. And when this concreting is reached up to the ground position, this casing is totally pulled out, and this is the surface. This is the wavy surface you will get in the ground. So that will give the larger friction between this driven cast in situ pile and this soil, because here these are the wavy surface here. So on that account, we will get the larger skin friction between the pile and the adjoining soil. So this is the case of the uncased pile. This is the case of the uncased pile. And in the case of the cased pile, here in the case of the uncased pile, only there was a casing and a detachable screw, and this casing was being driven, and after that this casing was taken out, so that remained uncased, and only it will be the concrete surface. In the case of the driven pile, driven cast in situ pile, here there is a thin steel shell, and that has been driven with the help of the hammer. So the shell and mandrel both has been driven, and when it has reached to the required depth, then this mandrel is taken out. And the reinforcement is inserted and concrete is poured. So these are mostly the patented process, and all these driven cast in situ pile, they are in the name of the patent of the some company. Like we are getting the Frankie pile, the Frankie tapered pile, MacArthur concrete pile, Simplex concrete pile. So these all are the driven cast in situ pile and patented under the name of the company. Their process differs from each other, and for a specific process you have to consult the literature and book. But all these process has been patented, and that gives rise to the different type of the pipe. In the case of the agar in situ pressure pile, these pile are very rarely used, but it is again a type of this. There will be hollow drill rod, and we had drilled the hole up to the desired depth. Then concreting is done through this hollow steam, and we had, you see, what is the difference? What is the difference here? That we had not put the reinforcement cage here, but at the last reinforcement cage is being driven with a vibratory hammer while the concrete is still green. That is the difference. So here we had not put the reinforcement, and then we had then we had poured the concrete. First concrete has been poured, and while the concrete is still in green, means less than initial time, this reinforcement cage is driven. This can be used for short length of the pile, and so that it is called the pressure pile, where the reinforcement cage is driven in the green concrete. There are the different advantages and disadvantages of the pile. Mostly I had already explained, just you can go through it. So now in the case of the large dia pile, board pile, large dia pile can be easily constructed. So that I am skipping. Now I am coming to the large diameter pile. Here this large dia pile are being constructed since the load coming on the structure is very high. So now the technology has shifted, and we have the facility to make the larger borehole, and many high technology machinery has come. Now it is very easy to make the larger dia borehole in any type of the soil. So that's why this is preferred. You can see the figure, that is the large dia pile. Generally the diameter varies, for the general diameter varies 1 meter to 2 meter, and it has also as high as the diameter up to 3.5 meter. Just I had shown one photograph that is in the coastal area of the Mumbai. So these are the drill rig of the high diameter, and we can put it, we can make the hole in any strata of the soil, and that can be too easy, and that's why this is the preferred method to install the large dia pipe. On contrary, we are using the micro pile, and these micro pile are also known as the sometimes we call it mini pile, pin pile, needle pile, root pile. There are the different names that has been given. Here the diameter varies from the 75 mm to 300 mm. For conventional pile, the diameter is greater than 300 mm, and generally the pile starts from 450 mm, conventional pile, and up to the 750 mm. So it is very small dimension, a small dia pile. And here the reinforcing steel is provided in form of the it may be the hollow steel, or it can be the threaded bar that can be inserted into the casing, and high strength cement grout is then pumped into the casing. Here this normal concrete is not used in the case of the micro pile. There high strength cement grout or the cement sand grout is being used, and that's why it develops a good bond zone with the reinforcing bar and the adjoining soil, and that's why it derives the very high strength. And for even despite the small dimension, the load capacity of the micro pile is well comparable with the conventional pile of the larger dia. So this is the one of the shows that this is the concrete in which a steel tube or rod is inserted, and the grout under pressure is filled into the borehole. This is again the same slide that I had. This micro means small, and these are the different stages of the construction of the pile. Here you see here that this is the steel pile. Sometimes to pour the concrete, to pour the grout, we use the steel casing. So that is called the unbonded zone. And below that there will be, this is the strong layer in the weak soil. Because in the weak soil, when you apply the grout under pressure, it will go into the voids of the surrounding soil. So you go on applying the pressure, you go on applying the grout, and it will go into the adjoining soil. It will not form your pile. So that's why a casing is inserted, so that it can be limited to your pile area. And when there is the strong layer, in that case the casing is not required, and that is called the bonded zone. Because in this zone of the weak soil, when you apply the grout pressure, it will go into the surfaces voids of the adjoining soil. So that's why we had to provide the steel casing. This can withstand high axial load and lateral load, considered as a substitute for the conventional pile, and within the limited or inaccessible area it can be used. These are the differences between the micro pile versus the conventional pile. This is always circular. This is the diameter is less than 30 centimeter. Here the grout using cement sand mortar or neat cement slurry under pressure is used. The pressure can be ranging from 1 bar to 3 bar. Depending upon the situation, the pressure of the grout may be used. Generally 2 bar pressure is used. The concreting is done without pressure. Here there are again the different type of the micro pipe, classified according to the design case 1 and case 2, and due to the method of the grouting there are the different type A, B, C and D. And the another is the, you see that is the main reinforcement may be more than 50% of the cross-sectional area in case of the micro pipe. That's why it is deriving the very high strength, and this design is governed through the only structural capacity of the pipe, while in conventional pipe the design is governed by the geotechnical capacity. Here the tip resistance is neglected. In the case of the micro pile, while the conventional pile derives the most of the strength through the skin friction, particularly for the friction pipe. Here reinforcement is in the form of the central steel bar, hollow tube and the bundle of bar and the steel casing. Here the reinforcement is only the steel bar, high tensile steel bar. Here the spacer are used to keep the reinforcement in the center of the borehole, because there is the large dia of the reinforcement or the tube is used, so that is a spacer is required to maintain at the central position. Here the spacer are not required. In this case the reinforcement is as high as the 50% of the cross-sectional area. In the conventional pile the reinforcement varies 0.4% to 4%. 0.4% is the minimum reinforcement for the board pile, and 4% can be the for the driven pile. So these are again the further classification of the micro pile based on the design behavior. This micro pile can be used as a direct structural support. This is called the case 1 micro pile. And when the micro pile used to circumscribe and internally reinforce a coherent composite reinforced soil structure, means when it is passes through the weak soil, it is acting as a root zone. You see the network of the micro pile that is inserted into the weak type of the soil. So here it is the micro pile is not directly taking the load. So that is called the case 2 pile, and it is the case 1 pile when micro pile is directly taking the load from the superstructure and providing support to you. And it is transferring the load to the competent strata, because it has passed through the soft layer and it has resting, it is deriving the strength from this bonded zone. So this is the competent strata. This is called the case 1 pile. And you have, this is mostly used, this type case 2 pile are mostly used for the retrofitting of the structure or the underpinning of the foundation. Then again on the method of the grouting, there are the different type of the pipe. There were initially we had seen that is the micro pile are case 1 micro pile, case 2 micro pile. Now how do you grout the pipe? That is there are the different types. If you are putting the grout under gravity only, there is no pressure, then this is the type A micro pile. And when you are using pressure through casing, means unbonded zone, if you had inserted the casing, so that is the type B micro pile, and it is the single global post grout that we had. First you had constructed the micro pile through the without grouting, and then you had applied the pressure. So that is the post grout, and this is called the type C. Only type B micro pile are extensively used. And here there are the multi times when you do the pour the concrete, then you apply the pressure, pour the grout, then you apply the pressure. So that can be taken a number of times, and that results into the type D micropile. This symbol has been shown as the pressure gauge. You see here the pressure gauge is absent here. That is the grouting is done under gravity, and here it is. This is the packer that after this you apply the here two times. Here two times the pressure has been applied. That's why it is multi-repeatable post grout. After concreting two time, after grouting, two time pressure has been applied on the grout externally. So these are the type A, type E, group 1, group 2, then type A, type B, type C, and type B. Type B is mostly used in the practice. You can see it is not using. These are common usage of the micropile that provide the structural support to most of the structure, underpinning of the foundation, mass stability, transfers the load. It is capable of resisting the compressive uplift tension and the lateral load, and when the transportation of the heavy machinery is difficult and where there is the limited access in that area, it is being used. And quality assurance, particularly with cast in situ place piling in weak soil, and can be combined with the other technique to meet the unique or complex project requirement cost effectively and efficiently. So that there are the number of uses for the micropile, and this has their use has been gained some. There was a video, perhaps it is not working. I try to show it from other places. Can you see it? Can you see it? The screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
These are the micropile installed above. This is the site is MSP4, and this is for construction of the snow gallery. This is this has been the micropile that has been installed. So I can show you the other picture. That is the actual photograph from the site. That is MSP. The site is able- the site is called the MSP4. See, this is the enforcement that is being put here. See the dia of that enforcement. So that was all from my side. You had anything if you have to ask?
Participants, any question to sir?
Mr. Yadav, Shiva Yadav.
Anyone having any question?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, you were saying that when the potential energy of weight of the hammer into height at which it is placed, if it is used, there will be loss due to sound and light. Could you please expand on elaborate on that, sir?
If you see there are the if you see the theoretical estimation of the load capacity of the pile
Sir.
through the engineering news formula, this WH energy is used to drive the pile. But what actually happens that when the hammer falls on the head of the pile, there are the heavy noise. So that energy which this potential energy of the hammer, which is the W into H, that has dissipated into the number of the forms of the energy. One is the sound energy, because the sound is being produced. So that is it is dissipated in form of the sound energy. If there is the impact, the light also emanates. So that is there will be sparking. So that's why it is being dissipated into the light form also. And besides this, the pile head is protected with the resilient material. They are all absorbing the impact energy of the hammer. So that means the whatever the energy WH hammer possesses, that is not being utilized only in driving the pile. It is being dissipated in the number of the ways, and that's why the estimation through the engineering news formula miserably fails. You have to use the factor of safety as high as 6.
Thank you,
Because
sir.
all this type of the dissipation of energy has not been taken into consideration in estimation of the load capacity through the engineering news formula.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone?
if the soil is rocky strata, hard strata is there, is this micropiles are suitable, sir? Rocky strata.
If rocky strata, you can drill the large dia pile also. If it is on the plain ground, there is the rock where the machinery can, the site is accessible. You can drill the large dia pile also. But sometimes the site is on the slope of the hill.
Yes.
In that case, your drill machine will be difficult to reach. That site is inaccessible.
Yes.
In that case, the micropile are useful. Otherwise, the rock can be penetrated. There are the diamond drill, so rock can be penetrated. Now, in the present time, that is not a problem.
Okay.
We are capable of making drill in any type of the soil, any type of the rock.
Yeah, with machine.
That's why this pile technology has dramatically changed.
Achha.
And it has replaced the other thing like the well foundation. There is no need to install the well foundation now. We are capable of doing the pile of the large dia, and it will replace this. It will take the very high load.
I'm talking about the differential settlement of the foundation in the rocky strata, the sloped ground areas of the soft strata. Then, if we retrofit the foundation with the help of these micropiles, is it possible to have that, sir? To retrofit that?
I could not get. Excuse me. I could not get your question. Can you explain me?
Yes, sir. In the case of differential settlement of the foundation occurred for a particular building, if we want to have the retrofit the foundation foundation in one direction, is micropiles are possible to have it, sir, to retrofit them?
No, that micropiles are frequently used in the retrofitting. That is the best solution. If there could be the different reason for the differential settlement. But if you had reached at the conclusion that the differential settlement is taking place due to the inherent weakness in your existing foundation, that foundation could be strengthened with the help of the micropile. That is the best solution.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Other questions? So, sir, before this session is very interactive and very useful for us. Before the end of the session, I would like to thank you, sir, for your sharing your valuable knowledge and give us time. So, thank you so much, sir. On the behalf of Gyani Jail Singh campus and Civil Engineering Department, Bathinda.
I also enjoyed this session. I had also enjoyed. So, if people take interest, then
due to sir online lectures, there will be always some problem with audience and expert. Further, we will try for offline.
Now we are habituated. After this is the normal process for the present time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the knowledge that you are providing.
But it is good to hear that participants are from all over through Pan India. So good thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We interact in future. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you all. Now I am leaving. Okay, thank you to all.
Thank you, sir.